Hare Krishna, everybody. Hope everyone's had a good week and thank you so much for joining. So today we're joined by His Grace Kartik Chandra Prabhu ji, who was born and raised in a traditional Vaishnav family. He's well versed in devotional service from an early age. Prabhuji met ISKCON devotees back in '93, and through their association, he took on services such as teaching spiritual philosophy, preaching, book distribution, and mentorship programs. In addition, Kartik Chandra Prabhuji is multilingual and can speak 6 languages fluently, and additional 2 at a basic level. Pretty impressive. Professionally, Prabhuji is a director of a management consultancy practice. He lives in London with his wife and 2 children. So welcome, Kartik Chandra Prabhu, and over to you.
Hare Krishna, thank you everyone for being here. I was not aware of this wonderful Sangha going on, and I'm very, very happy that you are all coming together to study Srimad Bhagavatam. It's a rare thing to see that in London or in the UK, so many wonderful devotees coming together, dedicating their time to study Srimad Bhagavatam. So I believe we have 1 hour. I'll try and go through the chapter in about 45 minutes or so, and then that would leave some time for everyone to ask questions or if there's any comments. Yeah, is that okay?
Guruji, we can go over if you wish as well. It's fine.
Okay, let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So please let me know if you can see the screen. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let's begin with a short prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are continuing our discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam, and we are on the 2nd canto. The 2nd canto is the shortest of all the cantos, but it's also a very important canto. Next chapter, chapter 10, is the last chapter of the 2nd canto. So chapter 9 is a discussion in which, again, as Srimad Bhagavatam, as you know, is a series of questions and answers. Chapter 9 has 1 set of verses, which is also considered to be the heart of Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, depending on what you mean by heart. Here, heart means not the heart of a physical body, but heart in terms of the essence, the essential meaning. So if you have to say something very complex and very huge in the fewest possible words, then you would say it in a form which is the essence of it. So in this particular chapter, you have 4 verses which are known as Chatushloki. Chatu means 4 and Shloki means verses, or composed of verses. So composed of 4 verses. This Chatushloki, this group of 4 or set of 4 verses, is in itself the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, because it's the essence. Now, when I said heart, of course, I do need to tell you that in the 10th canto, 10th canto, there are some special chapters where the Braja Gopis, who are the pure devotees of the Lord, they are conversing in separation of the Lord. Those chapters are actually the heart of the physical body of Srimad Bhagavatam. Like a body has 12 limbs, Srimad Bhagavatam has 12 cantos. And the heart is those chapters. Anyway, we'll leave it there because that's not the topic of discussion today. So in the 9th canto, the discussion begins with the question, okay, Dharmendra Prabhu, is it okay if I make it interactive? Can people answer?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever your style, Prabhuji.
All right. So no, I'm just asking your permission. So yeah. So the question, the key question that this chapter begins with is, how did the jiva, who is spiritual in nature, attain a material body? Isn't that a beautiful question? It's a very, it's a very thoughtful question as well. And in answer to that, it is said that jiva actually has no connection with the material world except through Maya. Now, somebody has to explain this because the answer itself is also very, very terse, very, very, compact. So, the verse that is spoken is, the reply that is given is, Bahurupa ivabhati Mayaya Bahurupaya. Many, many Bahurupa ivabhati. You see, this forms of body are many, many in number, different varieties of bodies. Mayaya Bahurupaya. And these different bodies are essentially because of nothing but the illusory energy of the Lord. There are people in this world, some are tall, short, thin, fat, ugly looking, good looking. Why are these varieties there, even amongst humans, I'm saying? Essentially because it's just the external material face. The reality, the spirit soul, is Satchidananda. Then why is it that the jiva, who is pure spirit in nature, identifies itself with the body? What do you think? What is it that makes the jiva means the spirit soul, identify itself with the body? You can unmute and answer. If you raise your hand, I may not be able to see. So simply unmute and answer. Oh, there is a, no, I can't.
Manjula Mataji, would you like to?
Yeah, I can try. I think while we were in the spiritual world, we desired that the way Lord Krishna is enjoying, that we also should be able to enjoy. And because we were meant to be servitors and not enjoyers, we are put into that illusion. So we are, Lord Krishna puts us into the illusion and says, fine, you want to enjoy. So you go and enjoy in the material world.
Excellent. So you mentioned why or how we came to the material world. That's perfect. Your answer is perfect. My question, though, is just like if I tell you, can you mix oil with water? No matter how hard you try, they are essentially two different things. And so you can't mix oil and water, no matter what you do. How hard you try, you put oil and water in a glass bottle and try to kind of, mix it as hard as you may. It won't mix. So why does it not mix? Because by nature, they're very different. So similarly, a spirit soul is very different from matter. So how is it that the soul is identifying itself with matter? What is that connecting thing? What is that thread? That subtle thread that connects the spirit soul with the matter? That is the question.
The false ego, Prabhu.
Is it the subtle body, though?
Subtle body, false ego. Okay, good. Good attempt. Now we see here the answer is given. The answer is Ramamano Guneshvasya. All the living entities are wanting to Ramamanaha, which means wanting to enjoy. As Manjula Mataji said, they want to enjoy. And this desire to enjoy in the material world makes them identify themselves with the world, with the material body, and with the things around because of two things, two thoughts. Mama aham iti manyate. Mama and aham. If you analyze what keeps you attached to anything in this world, it is just these two words. You do any number of analysis. Ultimately, you will boil down to these two words. So wonderful. Bhagavatam is giving us the conclusion of all research. Anyone knows what is the meaning of these two words? Mama and aham.
It's me and mine, or I and mine.
Correct? Mama means my, mine. And aham means I. Now, I will give you an example and it will become very easy to understand how these two words are the cause of identification of the soul with the body. So, what do you think this is? Oh, what do you think this is? Anyone?
Train reservation.
Yeah, correct. Correct. So this is train reservation, seat reservation.
Yeah.
So imagine that, I think that was Neha Mataji answering. So imagine, Neha Mataji, you are on seat number 6. You have boarded on at Leeds station and you are going towards King's Cross. You are on seat number 6. Now it so happens that after the train starts, you are already on seat number 6, your reserved seat. You just happen to go and wash your hands because you had a little some prasadam. You want to go and wash your hands. So you get up from your seat and you go to wash your hands. You use the bathroom, the toilet. You come back and you see that another man is sitting on seat number 6. What do you say to that man? Politely or angrily or whatever, it doesn't matter the mood. But what do you say to the man?
That's my seat.
Yeah, that is my seat. What is the next sentence you will say?
I was sitting.
Yeah, I was sitting there. This is my seat and I was sitting there.
How come you give?
Now I will ask you this question. Isn't it? Does everyone agree that you will say that?
Yeah.
My seat and I was sitting here. Before you came, I was sitting here. This is my seat. This is when the train has started from Leeds after a few minutes. Now imagine that man goes away or whatever. You are reaching King's Cross. You are just about to reach and now you have reached and the train has stopped at King's Cross. Will you still say, oh, everyone is boarding off, everyone is getting off the train? Will you still remain seated and say, no, this is my seat. I'm sitting here. Will you say that?
No.
Yes or no? How many of you say yes? Anyone says yes? No. Nobody will say, this is my seat. But what happened there between Leeds and King's Cross? What happened? Our mind, our intelligence, our false ego somehow identified ourselves with something which was actually temporary. We identified ourselves with number 6. It might be the most unlucky number for us, but for that day, I am number 6. So the moment we identify ourselves with something, the moment we give importance to something, we identify ourselves with something, the moment the mind thinks this is mine and I am the rightful owner, that thought, that emotion with mind, intelligence, and ego is the cause of bondage. In reality, there is no question of water and oil mixing. In reality, there is no question of spirit and matter mixing. But the I and mind keeps it together. I was just recently with one Mataji. She is very elderly. She is probably in her 70s, late 70s, nearly 80 years old. And she was telling me how she has seen through her life so many ups and downs. And after every up and down, she feels, oh, life is not what it seems. Then she had, of course, she was married, had children. Now she has grandchildren. And she is just living like a free nanny for the grandchildren. And she told me, what is keeping me, Prabhu? What is keeping me with my grandchildren and, doing this work for the grandchildren every day is because I think they are mine. But yesterday, my grandson told me in my face, I don't care about you. I only care about my friends. And I had a realization. Oh, just see, I'm thinking, mine, I. We forget the real I. Once Srila Prabhupada was asked to visit a school. And in the school, Srila Prabhupada was told that, this is a school, so please keep the class very simple so that children can understand. Prabhupada said, okay. So Prabhupada started the class. And after the kirtan, all the school children were sitting. Prabhupada pointed out in the audience with his finger and he said, who is the smartest kid? So all the children were looking at each other. Then the teacher looked at one boy and said, you go. So that boy stood up and went to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada looked at him and said, what is this? Pointing at his hand. And the boy said, this is my hand. What is this? This is my head. What is this? This is my leg. What is this? This is my belly. Okay. Prabhupada stopped at one point and said, okay, if all of this is yours, then where are you? The boy could not answer. And then Prabhupada said, you are a spirit soul, separate from the body. See how beautifully, simply Prabhupada explained. So, in this verse we find, Ramamano guneshvasya mamaham iti manyate. Because you want to enjoy that seat. You want to enjoy, relax on that seat. Oh, Leeds to King's Cross, I have to sit for so long. Let me relax on my window seat. Number 6 especially is a window. You can see it's a window there. Nice window seat. Forward facing. So you want to relish. So mama aham. So this, Shukdev Goswami says, is the real reason why. So now, then the question, the real reason why we are attached. Now, then the question is there anyone who is freed from this mentality? Could anyone free themselves? So yes, the answer is. An example is given of Brahma. Brahma is a person who perfected himself by performing bhakti and freeing himself from Maya. Then the question is asked, how did that happen? So in response, the conversation between Brahma and Krishna is mentioned. Now, Brahma is a very intelligent man. He is the first man. He is also known as Adi Kavi. He is also known as Adi Kavi. So, like in the first verse of Bhagavatam, Brahma has been glorified. Tene Brahmaridaya Adikavaye. Adikavi. The Lord gave the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam, 4 verses, from his heart to the heart of Brahma. Initiation of Brahma happened. Initiation is a matter of heart. Prabhupada said, initiation is a matter of heart. And Prabhupada also said, initiation is not fashion. Don't make it a fashion. I'm initiated by such and such. It's not a fashion. Matter of heart to heart connection. So, Spirit, the Supreme Lord, initiated Brahma by giving him this knowledge. This episode will now be spoken. How did that happen? How Brahma got initiated by Krishna by receiving the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, which is Bhagavatam in 4 verses, compact Bhagavatam. And I will attempt to unpack it in a way that you will remember it for the rest of your life. So, what is the background to this? After Brahma was born on the lotus, which came from the navel of the Lord, on the top of the lotus, Brahma was born. He woke up and he looked around, and there was nothing but pitch black darkness. And he could hear the oceans of the current, the current of the ocean. The currents were, the waves he could hear. But he couldn't see anything in the pitch dark. He was confused. At that point, he closed his eyes, started meditating on the Lord. While meditating on the Lord, he heard the 16th and the 21st consonant. He couldn't figure out where the sound was coming from, but he could just hear the 16th and 21st. So this is not 16th and 21st of the English alphabet, ABCD. This is Devanagari. So it also proves that the Sanskrit language, the alphabet, existed even before Brahma appeared. Somebody asked me once, when did Sanskrit language appear first? How old is it? So in Bhagavatam, from this we know Sanskrit was there even before Brahma was born, because Brahma heard the 16th and 21st. Now, you all may not know the consonants. Some of you may know, some of you may not know. So these are the consonants. Ka, kha, ga, 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 cha, cha, ja, chinya, ta, ta, da, da, na, ta, ta, da, na, pa, pa, ma, yarala, va, sha, 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 ha. Just quickly, I'm not here to teach you this. So the idea is, he heard the, Bhagavatam says he heard the 16th and 21st. 16th and 21st are ta, pa. What did Brahma hear? Ta, pa, ta, pa. It meant perform austerity. Even if we read Bhagavatam, throughout Bhagavatam, austerity is glorified. But what kind of austerity? Devotional austerity. Not austerity that you go to the manor, stand in the car park on 1 foot, looking at the sun with your hand straight up. That kind of gymnastics is not needed. That is not austerity. But on Ekadashi, you are listening to Bhagavatam 1 hour morning, 1 hour afternoon, 1 hour evening. You are only eating once on Ekadashi. That is devotional austerity. So here, Brahma was going to do devotional austerity. Tapa, perform austerity. Brahma shut his eyes. You can see, generally you look at Brahma, he has a big beard. He's like Father Christmas. But in this painting, he looks very young because he's just born. Brahma, when he was just born, he was not born like a baby. He was like this, four-headed, fully mature, young man. So he started meditating on Krishna. And he did as he was instructed. Prabhupada writes in the purport that Brahma could create. And Brahma, you will see, after meditating for 1,000 Divya Yugas, which is 36,000 human years. Brahma could come face to face with Krishna. He could see Krishna. Actually, Narayan, not Krishna, but he could see face to face. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, anyone who follows the instruction of the spiritual master is guaranteed success. Because it was instruction of Krishna. And Krishna was the spiritual master for Brahma. So the Lord was pleased with his austerity, and he revealed himself and he revealed his abode, Vaikuntha, which is beyond Maya and beyond Kala. There is no time in Vaikuntha. We cannot imagine, because we live in a world where there is past, present, future. So, but we are limited. For example, we know what is our past to some degree, as far as our memories permit. We can know some things, we remember. We can understand our present, but we know nothing about the future. So even though we are living past, present, future, time bound, we are not in control of time. Nobody can say, tomorrow this should happen to me. Nobody can even say, tomorrow morning I will wake up. Even this simple English sentence, we cannot say. I'll wake up tomorrow. Are you sure? You may not. So, beyond this time factor, the whole universe is within time factor. The whole universe is controlled by the three modes, by Maya. Beyond the time factor is Vaikuntha. And the Lord showed Vaikuntha planet, where there are attendants of Lord Hari, like Sunanda, Nanda, Prabala, Arhana, so many others. And where Lakshmi Devi, also known as Shri Devi, resides. And there are many wonderful aerial planes. Sorry, something's wrong with the... You can see here an aeroplane, beautiful swan aeroplane. You can see all of these living entities. They all look like Narayan. Lakshmi and Narayan are here, but everyone else also looks similar. So they all have Sarupya Mukti. Sarupya means similar form as the Lord. They are in Vaikuntha. So Brahma could see this place, Vaikuntha. He could see Narayan. And then Lord appeared personally to Brahma. He held his hand, just like a friend holds a friend's hand. And being pleased with Brahma, he said, please ask me for a benediction. And he said, devotional austerity that you perform is very dear to me. Not any austerity, devotional austerity. He also said, I am the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of this world. And I do it through austerity. This we can understand another time, because it's a very subtle point. Now, you can see here, Vishnu, 400 form, appearing in front of Brahma, personally. Before this, Brahma was on the lotus petal, and you can imagine it was completely dark. And then Vishnu appeared. What do you think you would ask if Vishnu appeared, if Krishna appeared? What would you ask? I don't want you to answer. I just want you to meditate for a moment. And we will see what Brahma asked. Brahma asked for something very, very interesting. 3 things. Brahma said, number 1, please bestow me the insight to know you. You see, we are so dumbed in many ways that we cannot understand the plan of the Lord. If things happen in our life according to our liking, oh, Krishna is so kind, devotees are so kind. But if something happens in our life which is not according to our liking, why, Krishna? Why are you doing this to me? Devotees, why are you not helping me? Because we don't have the insight. The whole plan is there. Like I was driving my son. He was 3 years old. But he knew the road from here to his school. Now, one day there was roadworks ahead. I mean, you could not see it because on the sat nav, automatically the sat nav would start, and the sat nav showed me that, oh, take a different route because there's a roadworks ahead. So I took a different route, and my son was sitting next to me on his, the children's chair, whatever it's called. He started looking at me and saying, "Daddy, you're going the wrong way. You're going to make me late. This is not the way to school. This is not the way to school. I don't want to go this way. I don't want to go there. Take the other way." And I told him, "Okay, Dhruva, we will reach. I know where I'm driving. I will lead you there." He could not see, but I could see. Similarly, we cannot see Krishna's plan sometimes. We think Krishna is doing something wrong with us. So first thing Brahma prays is, please bestow upon me the insight to know you. Now, knowing Krishna is two things. Knowing about this world and knowing about him as in his pastimes. So he asked for both. Help me to know about this material world and the spiritual pastimes of yours. Second thing he asked was, my dear Lord, let me not be lethargic in doing my service. What is the service of Brahma? Creation. Let me not be lazy. You see, one who is happy, Prabhupada was asked once, who is happy? Prabhupada said, he or she who is busy in Krishna consciousness is happy. Busy in Krishna consciousness. If you become lazy, lethargic, mode of ignorance, you can't be happy. You are always in mind, you are imagining things. You're not really doing anything, no action. So Brahma says, you have tasked me with the service of creation. Let me not be lethargic. Let me always be very, very inspired and enthusiastic to perform service that you have given me. We should always be praying to be enthusiastic, to do service. Now, if you do your service, whether you do it properly or not properly, it's nature that anything that you associate with yourself, you will naturally be proud of. Even if you are doing a service which nobody really wants to do or nobody even cares, but you will be very proud. So Brahma says, you have given me this service which you have not given anyone else. Imagine you are doing a service which nobody else is doing. Then you will be so much proud. So Brahma says, let me not be proud. So he asks for these three things. Very important. Note it down. Keep this in your heart. It will transform the way you approach Krishna consciousness. So then going forward, Lord Vishnu grants him the boon and he tells him Chatushloki Bhagavatam. Why he tells him Chatushloki Bhagavatam, you might wonder. What is the reason? The reason is the first question, the first boon. Brahma said, please give me insight about you, which is the material creation and spiritual pastimes, or who you are, what is your secret. So that is why in response the Chatushloki Bhagavatam is spoken. This is just a summary in a graphical form. Mahavishnu enters the universe, the lotus sprouts from his navel, from the navel of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Brahma appears on that lotus of Garbhodakshai Vishnu, which is from his navel. He performs meditation for 1,000 Divya Yugas, which is 36,000 years. After that, the Lord is pleased and gives him darshan. And he shows him his abode and he holds his hand. And Brahma asks for three boons. and the Lord gives him the boon and then speaks the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, which is what we are going to speak now. I'm continually looking at my watch here to make sure that I don't go over time. The nature of Srimad Bhagavatam is that you will not stop. If you are a lover of the Lord, if you're a lover of Srimad Bhagavatam, you will not stop. So, who can stop Bhagavatam? Only Bhagavan can. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that I am time. So, try looking at the time, you can stop Bhagavatam speaking. Yeah. Okay, anyway. So, Bhagavatera Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan Chatushlokite Prakatatar Koriache Lakshan. This is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. What does it mean? It means Srimad Bhagavatam outlines three things: Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. What is Sambandha? Relationship. Relationship with whom? With Krishna. Whose relationship? The living entity's relationship. So our relationship with Krishna is called Sambandha. Okay, now I know the relationship. So how do I act? If you know some relationship with someone, if you have a relationship with someone, you act. So how do you act in relation with Krishna? By performing devotional service. That is next point, Abhideya. All right, I know my relationship. I am acting in that relationship. I am performing bhakti. So what will be the goal? What will I get? What will I gain? What will he gain? What you gain, the goal is called prayojana. And what you gain is love of Godhead. So Bhagavatam is nothing but this. Sambandha, Abhideya, Prayojana. In the simplest of form, simplest of words, I try to explain what these three are. Chatushlokite Prakatatara Koriache Lakhon. So in the 4 shlokas, these 3 are mentioned. Now, we don't have much time, so I'm going to drive in the 4th gear now. But if you don't understand, then please pause me and ask me. So there is this verse, 31. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Jnanam Paramaguhyam Me Yadvidjnana Samanvitam Sarahasyam Tadangam Cha Grihana Gaditam Maya. He himself says what the Chatushloki is. It is Jnanam, knowledge, Vijnanam, realized knowledge, Sarahasyam, secret, and Tadangam, paraphernalia. And this is what Jiva Goswami explains the 4 verses to be. Now you see, every Acharya explains from a different angle. It doesn't mean that they disagree with the other Acharya. For example, my favorite sweet, actually many people know, is gulab jamun. I can have gulab jamun of all different varieties. Suppose I give you one gulab jamun, big one. I tell you bite from the front. So you bite from the front. How will it be? Sweet. Then I tell you, okay, bite from the side. You bite from the side. How will it be? Sweet. From the back, from the top, from the bottom, from the wherever you bite a gulab jamun from, it is going to be sweet. Similarly, whichever angle of vision the acharyas cover, they are just extracting the sweetness of Bhagavatam. But only acharyas can do that. You and I, ordinary people, we cannot just imagine some meaning of Bhagavatam. We cannot read a verse and start imagining, oh, maybe it means this. We have to follow the line of the parampara. So, anyway, I have a question for you. And if you are paying attention, please tell me, what are the 4 fundamental questions that are to be answered by all philosophers? I will give this 2 minutes if somebody wants to answer. within 2 minutes. Otherwise, I'll tell you the answer and we'll move. Please unmute yourself and speak.
Who I am, why
Yes.
I am here.
What's the purpose of my life?
What is the purpose of my life? Who I am? Why am I here? Okay, so good. So I'm going to group all of these questions with, because Hema Mataji said and somebody else said, purpose of my life, who am I? Why am I here? You know the common word that I heard? I. Okay, so that's good. That's good. So one of the question definitely is, who am I? Who am I as in, who am I? A living entity. So who is a living entity? That's one question. Okay. Any other question?
What's my goal? What's
Where
my
do we
goal?
go after death?
Goal. Okay.
And where do we go after death? And
Where do we go after death? Very good. Anything else?
What's the purpose of life?
What is the purpose of life? Very good. Excellent. So all of these questions are nice. They can be grouped as, what is this whole, why am I kind of in this place, and where am I going, and how? So what do I need to do to achieve something, to go somewhere, to be better, right? So I'll group all of that together and I'll just say it as purpose. So there is something about who am I? So I and purpose, 2 questions. Other 2 questions? Come on, think.
Who is God?
Wonderful, Hema Mataji. Finally, I really appreciate this answer, because that's a very fundamental question. Who is God? Are you God? Am I God? Is my neighbor God? My neighbor's dog God? Who is God? Is God in the sky somewhere? Sorry?
What is my relation with God?
So that we will bundle up as purpose. What is purpose of life? Relation with God. So God. So 3 questions are key. God, living entity, and relationship with God. Okay. 4th question.
It's around Maya, Prabhuji. So it's Jiva, Maya, God, and
Very nice. So the obvious question is, what is this world? What is this world? Means Maya, means creation. See, Maya also means creation. What is this world? These are the 4 fundamental questions. All of you, come on. You know now, what are the 4 fundamental questions? Who is God? Who am I? What is this world? And what is the relationship? How do I have the relationship? Correct? This is exactly the 4, I would call them cardinal questions. Cardinal questions, important questions that are answered in the Chatushloki. Now you'll never forget it. What are the 4 questions? Again?
Who am I?
So don't say who am I, just say about Jiva,
Jiva.
about Bhagwan,
God.
God or Jiva, Bhagwan,
Relationship.
relationship. So you have to do some sadhana, na? Relationship means you have to act. So sadhana, and what is this word? What is this word? Maya. See, if you think any philosophy, forget religion, even non-religious philosophers, those who don't, like Aristotle was a philosopher. He wouldn't say I was a Christian or because he was an ancient Greek philosopher. Even he tried to answer these 4. Who am I? Who is God? What is this universe? What is my connection with God? These 4 are answered in the 4 verses. Finished. Now, we will move forward quickly. You know what? I'm going to skip this because it's slightly more detailed. 4 verses, according to Srila Prabhupada and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Sarartha Darshini, they describe Swarupa. Swarupa means the Swarupa of Lord or God. Who is God? Maya. What is this universe? Bhakta. Who is this living entity? Who am I? And my relation with God, sadhana. There are other ways to look at it. I told you the example of a gulab jamun. There are other ways to look at it. Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami takes a different view. Jiva Goswami in Bhagavad Sandarbha gives a different view. According to tattvas, you can classify them in different groups. We'll leave it there. Okay, we're not going to go into those. Let us just look at what Srila Prabhupada is giving us. So, first of the Chatushloki, first of the 4 verses is Aham evasam evagre. Aham eva asam. I only was there, nobody else. Eva agre. Agre means, in Hindi they say age, which means before, in the past. So I existed before everything else, before creation. So this verse is talking about God. I told you 4 things: God, living entity, universe, and relationship between God and living entity. This verse is talking about God. So Krishna says, aham, aham, aham. Aham means I. 3 times in this verse, you see. I've marked in yellow. First he says, aham evasam evagre. I existed prior to everything else. Before creation also I existed. Oh, so you existed before creation means creation of these living entities means you must be universe yourself. So he says, no. Nanyat yat sat asat param. Universe is asat, is material. I was before that. Oh, you were before universe also. So maybe you were the impersonal Brahman. No. Sat means impersonal Brahman. Oh, sorry. Sat means impersonal Brahman. No. I was even before and I am beyond, in fact, the Brahman and the universe. Krishna's position is, he is before the creation, he is the source of Brahman, and he is the source of the universe. Okay, so you were there before, but what happens after everything finishes? After the universe is destroyed, will you still be there? Are you still there in the universe right now? So he answers, Paschadaham yad etatcha. I exist even after the creation is produced. That means in the present. So in the past, in the present, and yo vashishyeta sosmyaham. And I will remain avashishyeta even after destruction of the universe. I'll remain. This is Krishna, ever existent, always the Lord. Even Mahaprabhu, he prays in his Shikshashtakam, you will always remain my Lord. That position of being supreme is not a position that anyone can take. So Krishna makes it very clear. This is not a transactional position that somebody can democratically vote for and become God. No. I. He says, I existed before, I am beyond Brahman and the universe, I am existing now, and I shall exist in the future. This is me. Then, what is this universe? Next question was. So, second verse of Chatushloki talks about the universe. It says, Ritertham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani. Whatever appears valuable, unrelated to me, is useless. Anything in this universe is simply useless. It is simply, Srila Prabhupada would give example. If I give you a 0, on a paper I write a 0, I write another 0, I write another 0. I give you 100 zeros. What is the value? 0. Then I put a 1. before all of those zeros. It becomes, oh, I can't even count that number. 1 followed by 100 zeros. Such a big number. So what gives it value? 1, Krishna. 1 is God. Otherwise, it's simply a series of zeros. Krishna says this in this verse. He says, Ritertham. Rite means without. Ritertham, artham means meaning. Without me, there is no meaning to this word. Ritertham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tad vidyadatmano maya. Know this to be Maya. What is Maya? Maya is nothing but my creation, which you remove from me, and it becomes meaningless for you. If I give you on your birthday a really big box of present, you unwrap it very happily with a big smile on your face, with a lot of anticipation, only to realize it was completely empty inside. What do you feel? Disappointment. This is Maya. Maya's quality is to simply disappoint the jiva so that the jiva will come to the point of surrendering to Krishna. So, tad vidyat atmano mayam. Understand that to be Mahamaya or Yoga Maya, but we'll leave it there. No time for that discussion, difference between Mahamaya and Yoga Maya. But the idea is Maya is, or the universe is that which only when it's connected with Krishna. What do you mean connected with Krishna? So, to connect with Krishna means to utilize everything for the service of Krishna. Then it becomes valuable. Otherwise, it is simply useless. Yatha bhaso, which means vidya, transcendental knowledge, illuminates you and makes you understand what is worthy and what is unworthy. Similarly, avidya hides that knowledge. Avidya means ignorance. Yatha tamaha, avidya means ignorance. So, Maya is essentially the creation of the Lord, the universe, which separate from the Lord, if somebody tries to enjoy, it is simply meaningless. Okay. Now, who am I? You see, understand first of all that Krishna in the form of Paramatma is everywhere, including in you, in me, in everyone. So when I say, who am I? I'm not only part and parcel of Krishna, but I'm also one who carries Krishna with me. Yatha mahanti bhutani bhuteshu uchavacheshvanu. Just like if you ask me, is there earth? Earth here does not mean mud. Earth here means matter. Okay, if I ask you, in this mouse, in this mouse, let's say I show you a mouse. Is this matter? Is there matter there? You say yes. In the laptop, there is matter. There is earth. Yes. In the mobile phone, there is earth. Yes. In the pen, there is earth. Yes. Book. Yes. Phone. Yes. Everything. Paper. Everything you look around, there is earth. Is there earth in the mountain? Yes. Is there matter, earth, in an atom? Yes. So just like the example here is given, yatha mahanti bhutani bhuteshu uchcha avacheshvanu. Just like matter is there, the great elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, these are found in huge things and the smallest of the small things. Similarly, the Lord enters everything. Pravishtani, he enters everything. Oh, he enters everything. Does that mean, like, if I go from my house to another person's house, to my neighbor's house, then I have disappeared from my house, isn't it? I can only be in one place at once. So if the Lord has entered everything, that means the Lord is not there anywhere. He's disappeared. So he clarifies, Pravishtani, yes, I have entered everything. Apravishtani, and yet I'm also separate outside. In my case, I can do that because I'm God. I can be in everything and yet be outside of everything. You can't do it, but I can because I'm God. Pravishtani, apravishtani. Like, for example, some examples are given in Upanishads. For example, God is compared to ether. Ether means space. Is there space in, if I take a palm, both my palms, and I close them like this? Is there space in my palm? Answer is
Yes.
But I say, is there space outside my palm?
Yes.
Both my palm? Answer is still yes. So this kind of comparison is given for the ease of understanding that Krishna can be inside but outside same time. Okay. Tatha teshu na teshvaham. Similarly, I am here but not here. For example, in the spiritual world, I am performing my pastimes. So this living entity, this bhakta, I am with him in this material world as Paramatma. And I am with my bhakta, the jiva, in the spiritual world as Shyam Sundar. Beautiful form, threefold bending form, Krishna. This is the understanding of this verse of Chatushloki. Last verse of Chatushloki. Oh, I'm doing okay on time. Yeah, last verse of Chatushloki, relationship with Krishna. So we know who he is. We know what Maya is. We know who Bhakta is, a living entity is. In this world, he is connected as Paramatma with living entity. In spiritual world also there is Paramatma in the hearts. This Paramatma doesn't vanish. But Krishna himself personally is also there. Okay, so last one, sadhana. How we connect with Krishna. Etavadeva jidnyasam. Etavadeva jidnyasam. Process of sadhana must be inquired. First of all, this is a very important instruction. You see, we should learn this movement of Krishna consciousness is not a social movement. It's not a fraternity where everyone who wears a tilak and shaves his head and wears a nice, strange looking outfit, wears some beads, puts a clay mark on their forehead. They are all a fraternity. No, it's not a social movement. It's not an experimental movement. What is it? Prabhupada said it's an educational movement. You educate yourself. If you educate, you know how to go back to God. If you want to go from here to, say, a new area, say you want to go to Potter's Bar, which is a place, and I'm assuming none of you live there. If I say go there to this address, what is the first thing you do? You look it up on the map, you look on your phone, or you look it up on the internet, or if you have the good old A to Z London, you look it up in there. But you will look up, you will find knowledge to reach a destination. Same. How do I connect with Krishna? Here in Bhagavatam, Chatushloki, it is said, Etavadeva jidnyasam. Jidnyasyam means you must inquire from a guru. Tattva jidnasuna. Inquisitiveness, never kill your inquisitiveness. Tattva jidnyasuna atmanaha. One must inquire with inquisitiveness. What's more? What's more? Anvaya Vyatireka. If you inquire and you follow the path of bhakti, you will be anvaya. Anvaya means you will be in union with Krishna. It's only a matter of time. If you don't inquire, if you don't improve, I was learning how to swim. And my friend was also learning how to swim. I was just happy to swim in the shallow pool and just, play with the water. I was playing with the water, whereas my friend, he was just trying every time. More difficult, backstroke, this, that. In 3 months, he was in the deep end. Where do you think I was in 3 months? Still in the shallow pool playing. So when you are not serious, you're not inquisitive, you don't want to improve, you can perform. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, actually, even Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said, you can chant Hare Krishna for thousands of years. Thousands of years, chant Hare Krishna. Guaranteed you will not see Krishna. Because it's not the chanting, it is the mood with which you chant and the offenses that you avoid while chanting that will decide how you progress. It's very important. Anvaya, if you follow it inquisitively with a mood of improving, becoming serious, then progress. You will be in union with Krishna. Otherwise, Vyatireka Bhyam. Vyatireka means separate. Non-performance of bhakti, separate from Lord. Yat syat sarvatra sarvada. Oh, you are saying that I should improve. So let me do this every day morning for my first 45 minutes after I wake up. I will think of bhakti. Then I will think of everything else. And I'll forget devotional service. So no. The verse says no. Yat syat sarvatra. It must be performed everywhere. This bhakti is to be performed everywhere, not just in the morning. And sarvada. Sarvada means everywhere and at all times. Kada kartavyam. When should I do? Sarvada kartavyam. Oh. Kutra kartavyam. Where should I do? Sarvatra kartavyam. Perform everywhere. You see, bhakti should be performed everywhere. So, in essence, summary of Chatushloka is Krishna is origin of everything. He was there before, he was there, he is there now, he will be there later. He is above Brahman, he is above universe. And what is Maya? Maya is a creation of the Lord, which is only of any value as long as it is connected with the Lord, which means use everything in relation to Krishna. Srila Prabhupada gave example. This microphone in which I am speaking, is it material or spiritual? So the devotee was sitting there, Prabhupada, it is material. Prabhupada said, no, it is spiritual. Because I am speaking Harinam, I am speaking glorification of Krishna. So it has become spiritual. Because it is connected with Krishna. Otherwise, it is material. So that is second. Third, Krishna is detached from the material world. He is in the material world with the living entity as Paramatma and personally there attached to the living entities as his devotees in the spiritual world. And fourth, bhakti must be performed inquisitively, seriously, with a mood of improving day by day. So many devotees are there. They have been coming for so many years. You actually ask them how much progress they have made. Of course, you should not inquire someone like that. But ask them to reflect. Many people come to me, they confess. Oh, I'm doing this service, that service, DT worship, this, that, whatever, so many things. But I'm not happy. A devotee cannot be unhappy. That means something is wrong. work on it. Still there is life left in you. The fact you are all on this call means you are all living. But sign of a living person is he's striving to improve in devotional service. You must follow the path of bhakti, always, everywhere. This is the essence of Chatushloki. See, Sarvatra, everywhere and always. Parikshit Maharaj performed bhakti in the womb. Dhruva and Prahlad when they were child. Amrish Maharaj when he was a young man. Yayati when he was an old man. And Ajamil at the time of death. So, whichever, you must be in one of these. We are all in one of these categories. I mean, I'm sure none of us are in the womb, unless a pregnant woman is listening. I don't know. You could be a child, you could be youth, you could be old man. The time of death, well, you might be dying next moment. Perform bhakti. Tivrena bhakti yogena, Bhagavatam says. This message of Chatushloki, Brahma heard from Krishna. He performed Yama and Niyama. He transferred it to Narada. Narada in turn transferred the message of these Chatushloki, 4 verses, to Vyasadev, and Vyasadev expanded the 4 verses in the current form of Srimad Bhagavatam on the banks of Saraswati. This is Brahma speaking to Narada, the 4 verses. The same 4 verses, Narada speaking to Vyasadev in Badrikashram. You can see the Himalayas in the background. You can see the river Saraswati in the background. So, this is called Parampara. In 4th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Raja Rishayo Viduhu. One hears this science of God in Parampara. And it is powerful. When you hear from someone who is a lover of the Lord, who is a lover of Srimad Bhagavatam, who is speaking on the authority of the Parampara, it is powerful. And we owe our indebtedness eternally to His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who gave us Srimad Bhagavatam so lovingly, being our ever well-wisher. So I finished the 9th chapter. Sorry if I took 5 minutes more, but hopefully it was to your expectations. I could not prepare. It was very last minute, just last 20 minutes. I just skimmed through it and tried to remember what it is. I could have done a better job. So forgive me for that. And Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll take some questions, comments, corrections, or anything else. Dharmendra Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. This was an amazing class. And I must ask if you can come back more and more, because the nectar is just amazing. I just cannot express the words, honestly. So we would love to see you again. Please, if anyone has any questions, please raise your hand. Can I just start off with one, if that's all right, while people are thinking?
Sure.
You were saying that we wanted to live this world away from Krishna, which is the premise. But initially I thought, well, why is Brahma wanting to do that? Because obviously he's the one that started the process off. So I cannot understand why Brahma would want to do that, because he's in the material world himself.
Why would he want to leave the material world and go to the spiritual world?
No. Why does he want to be separate from Krishna? Because he's come to the material world as well. So I'm just like thinking, why is that? Because he's such a exalted personality, you know.
Yeah, to enjoy the material world.
Okay.
You see, creation is also enjoying. When you create something, you enjoy.
But he was asking from what you're saying. He said, don't let ego get to me, which is the 4th part of his sort of
3rd part of his prayer.
Yeah. So that's why I'm thinking, well, it can't be that surely, you know. It seems very sort of, there must be more to it. I
See,
would have
as long
thought.
as there is desire
Yeah.
to enjoy the material energy of the Lord, one has to come. And it's as simple as that. As long as anyone has a desire, may that be Brahma, Indra, Varuna, Agni, whoever, demigods, or may that be lower beings, as long as there's a desire to enjoy in the material world, the Lord facilitates that. Actually, this is a facility. The material world is a facility for those who want to enjoy it. And they could realize it, that actually it doesn't work, so let's go back. Like there is a little girl, 5-year-old, she's telling her mom, Mom, I want to cook. I want a kitchen of my own. I want to cook. I want to enjoy cooking myself. The mom says, well, you are happy with me. I'll cook whatever you want. She says, no, I want to cook myself. So the mom gets a toy kitchen set for her. And the girl goes away and she's in one corner of the room and she's cooking spaghetti. Yeah. And she's really engrossed. The mom says, all right, the meal's ready, come. She says, no, I'm busy, I'm cooking. And she's cooking. What happens ultimately? She really feels hungry. She realizes that actually this kitchen set is, it's a plaything. It's not really giving any results. She runs to Mama. But if Mama would have just said, you fool, don't you understand? You're not going to be able to cook anything without me. Then there's no love. Then there's no affection. So to provide a facility for the living entities to enjoy is actually an act of love, is actually an act of giving freedom to experience and realize. And through that realization, when one reaches back and says, Mama, you know what? I actually love the spaghetti that you make. Can you please make it again for me? Mama says, sure, my love. That is the truth behind how the living entities who want to turn their face away. There's a verse. Krishna bahir mukha hoila maya jhopatiya dhore. Krishna bahir mukha hoila. When you turn your face away from Krishna, then you are in Maya. When you turn your face back towards Krishna, then you're out of Maya. Simple. Brahma also has a desire. He is a living entity with desire. What is his desire? I want to build the universe. Hey, if there's any builder on this call, they'll tell you the desire to build is also a desire to create. There are so many builders in this universe, right? On the earth. I mean, Donald Trump was a builder, essentially, right? He's a creator. He creates things. Artists are creators. Musicians are creators. Right? So the creative impetus is there in everyone. But Brahma has got the ultimate desire to create. He wants to create the universe. So he's full of desire. He's in the mode of passion. Brahma is not above passion. He's in the mode of passion. That is why he needs to also purify his desires. He's also like that little girl in some way. So until he turns back his face towards Krishna, it's very simple. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Hayandakar. Krishna is like the sun, and Maya is like darkness. You see, when you turn your head away from the sun, you only see your shadow. When you turn your face to the sun, you don't see a shadow. Krishna is the sun, Maya is the darkness. Anyway, I'll pause. I think it gave you a...
That's amazing. Thank you. That's really beautiful. Manjula Mataji, would you like to ask your question?
Yeah. Yes, I've got two actually. The first one is I had read a while back that three deities. I could not ever form the link together. The Madan Mohana, the Shri Shri Radha Govinda and Shri Shri Radha Gopinath. They are linked to these three processes,
that's right.
Abhidheya and Prayojana. So
Yeah.
I couldn't link how the deities were linked to them. If you could guide me to that, that'll be really great, because I couldn't put the two together. So that'll help with the first question.
Well, it's a topic in itself. Yeah, it's like asking someone in a, in an elevator, in a lift, can you tell me the entire Ramayana? It's like that. So it's tough. But look, I'm going to try. Since you asked, I will try. So three things, three deities. Radha Govinda Dev, Radha Madan Mohan. Actually, it's not like that. It's the other way around. Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda Dev, and Radha Gopinath. Radha Madan Mohan is a deity of Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami is the Acharya who elaborated on the Sambandha Tattva, the relationship aspect. So that is the deity which is connected with the Sambandha Tattva. Radha Govinda Dev is Rupa Goswami's deity, which is connected with the Abhidheya Tattva. And Radha Gopinath is connected with Prayojan Tattva. So these three deities, and in fact all three deities find themselves in Radha Raman Dev of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, which has all of the three. So the head, the chest, and the below the navel, like that. The idea is that these acharyas, they themselves exemplified those or propounded those tattvas, Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojana. And that's why their deities are connected with those. There are also deeper meanings which are beyond the scope of this session. Like, for example, Radha Madan Mohan. Madan Mohan means one who attracts. So that deity is the one who attracts us based on our relationship. So that is the first step. Govinda means one who is the master of the senses, which means to engage the senses. So that is Abhidheya, to engage your senses in bhakti. And Gopinath is the Lord of the gopis. They are the ultimate lovers of the Lord. And that is a Prayojana. So like that, I am trying to scratch the surface, but at the same time give you the depth. So, but I hope that answers your question.
Oh, yes, it does, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
And then we have, oh, you have another question, yeah?
Yes, I just wanted another one. Once the living entity realizes that this is not the place we are meant to be, and the realization dawns, and then we start the process, then why is the process so very tedious to go back? Now we know we are not meant to be here. We want to go back. So what being tested then so much?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sri Prabhupada answered that question. He said in one of the class, he said, could be one of the conversations, he said, Krishna consciousness is simple for the simple and complicated for the complicated. What he really meant was that everyone's got their baggage of conditioning, baggage of past karmas that we don't necessarily have an understanding of. I mean, none of us know what we did in our past life. I mean, we don't even know what we did in our childhood. We don't remember everything, let alone past life or past lives, plural. All of this, past lives, karma, plus the conditioning from past life and this life, which in Sanskrit technically is known as vasanas and samskaras. That conglomerate, that together, conditioning plus the results of previous karma come together and put us in a situation which becomes quite intense and difficult to get out of. But the only way to get out of it is, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. In one sense, it's very simple. Simply surrender unto me. But just to come to that point of surrender is a process in itself. And that process is a process in itself, and it's a difficult process, or seems to be a difficult process because of conditioning. I'll give you another very quick. I won't tell you the whole story, but I'll tell you what Siddhanta Sri Thakur says. He tells a story where there's a boat party where the bridegroom wants to go across the Ganga, and in the night the marriage party reaches the bank of the Ganga and tells the boatman, all right, we're going to board your boat, start rowing your boat. We're going to rest because we're very tired. In the morning, we have the marriage. So you start rowing the boat and we'll take rest. So they all take rest. And they can see the boatman is rowing the boat. It's pitch dark. He's rowing the boat, but pitch dark. And then in the morning, everyone wakes up. And lo and behold, they see, wow, it seems like we haven't even moved an inch. They are annoyed, angry, upset. They tell the boatman, hey, what's going on? What have you been doing? He said, sir, what can I do? I've been rowing the boat. They said, you stupid fool, you've been rowing the boat, but you have not lifted the anchor. You're still anchored on the bank. So your rowing didn't really help. So Siddhanta Sri Thakur gives this example, or this story rather, and he says, this is exactly condition of many of us, where we haven't really let the anchor, release the anchor, and we try to row the boat. And we might think, oh, just see, I am moving forward. But actually, you're just inching forward because you're stretching the rope connected to the anchor. You're not really release the anchor. So we are to work on our conditionings. We're to work on our surrender through the process of devotional service in association of devotees. And that is what helps us to approach Krishna. All right, I'll take two more questions. Thank you for your wonderful questions, Manju Mataji. I'll take two more questions and then I'll hand it over to Dharmendra Prabhu. Yes,
Okay.
Satyajit Prabhu. Is that okay, Dharmendra Prabhu?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for the very nice class. Prabhuji, I just want to know what is difference between Mahavaikuntha and Vaikuntha, as you mentioned one of your, I saw Sridevi.
Vaikuntha is where the planets, there are many planets, Vaikuntha planets, innumerable, in fact, Vaikuntha planets. And Mahavaikuntha is where Mahavishnu resides.
Okay, Mahavishnu, about of Mahavishnu.
Right.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, Panchali Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you for the wonderful, wonderful class. Prabhuji, mine is a very, very basic question, and apologies for the very basic question. So when we talk about the birth of Brahmaji from the navel of Mahavishnu, so, but Brahma is also a jiva, so, and Brahma is a position as opposed to a person, isn't it? So
Right.
when we say Brahma, so we are actually talking about the jiva or the soul who actually took up the position of Brahma. Am I right in thinking so?
Yeah, he appears from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, but yes, he appears from the navel on the lotus, yes.
Okay, all right. So that
He
was
is a jiva, you're right, yes.
okay. So when you say that he also he's a jiva of passion, so he also had that passion to be able to create. So that particular jiva had that particular passion, so he could take up the position of Brahma because that is the work required by the position of Brahma to do. And should another jiva have similar passion, then they would take up the position of Brahma in future. Is that the way it goes?
Your understanding is correct, yes.
Okay.
The essence of your understanding is correct. Of course, just having a passion is not enough. There are activities to be done to become Brahma.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Cultivation as well.
Yeah, there are certain tapasyas to be done.
Yes.
However, none of us, I hope, want to become Brahma. We want to be out of Brahma's creation. So, but yes, you're right. The essence of your understanding is absolutely correct.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's wonderful to see you all. And the remainder people, I didn't even know this Sangha was going on, and especially Srimad Bhagavatam Sangha. That is just.
It's going. It's been almost a year now. So now that we have your association,
I'm late. I'm late to the party, huh?
well, at least you're at the party. That's the main thing.